Katrina, and I'm going to be teaching you guys the benefits of turmeric and ginger in a recipe you guys can make at home. It's super easy, it's really tasty, nutritious, and it doesn't have meat, so it's a good option when you want to help out the environment and maybe take a meatless Monday or just don't feel like eating any meat. You can eat this for pretty much every meal. It's a spin-off of avocado toast. The basic overview is just toasted bread with some mashed up avocado, and you can add some spices in that. I usually just add salt and lime juice, and then you are going to be making a kind of sauteed chickpea mash, not completely mashed. You want it half mashed so it's easier to put on top of the avocado on the toast. But you're still gonna leave whole pieces so you get different textures. And in the spices that we're gonna be putting onto the chickpeas, we're gonna include the turmeric and ginger, and we're gonna put some other spices. And yeah, I'm gonna teach you guys how to make that meal and why you should be making this meal. I'm gonna be showing you guys what ingredients I'm gonna be using. So for the bread, I use Ezekiel bread. I get it from, it's cheaper at Costco. You can get multiple different loaves in one, or you can get it from Trader Joe's. I get this because it's easier to digest. It has more nutrients and more protein. So that and the chickpeas is where you're gonna get the most protein in this meal. And then you need an avocado. I use fresh lime juice. You can use lime juice from a bottle, but I just like the fresh one better. And for the chickpea topping, you can use chickpeas or you can use white beans. I like the chickpeas better, but it's whatever you have on hand. And then extra virgin olive oil to cook the chickpeas in. You can use other oils like a neutral oil, peanut oil, regular olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. Doesn't really matter. You just have to make sure your smoke point isn't too high. So if it's too hot, the olive oil, extra virgin olive oil is not that good. And then minced garlic. I don't have time to mince it myself, but it is better to have fresh. And then salt, ginger, garam masala. Probably did not say that right, but garam masala is just a mixture of spices. It has coriander, cumin, cloves, cinnamon, turmeric. That's just a mix of most of the spices I already have. So if you don't have all these, you can just get the spice mix. But I'm gonna be adding some extra crushed red pepper flakes, some cayenne pepper, cumin, paprika, and turmeric. And yeah, you can add more stuff. You can add chopped onions. Red onion's really good, but I don't have any right now. And for vegetables, if you want to add any, because you have carbs and protein, fat, if you want, and a fruit. But if you want to have vegetables, I usually will have carrots or something on the side. Or you can add in spinach. And yeah, cooking is all about preparation and timing. So I do the guacamole that goes on top of the toast first, because I can set that aside and put it in the refrigerator and let it cool and just stay fresh in there. Because if I did the toast first, it could get cold, and I like it to be nice and warm and crisp, so it can hold all the toppings on top. And I want, while I'm making the chickpeas, I don't want to be fussing around with the guacamole. So to make the guacamole that just goes on top of the bread, you're going to use some avocado. This is all to personal, how much you want. I like a lot of avocado, so I usually do half. Well, it depends on how much bread you're gonna be making. I'm doing 2 slices, so I'm probably gonna use most of the whole avocado. I'll probably leave about a fourth left. So to make it easier, I just score the avocado inside of the shell, just making different lines, and then I'll scoop it out with a fork. Then after you're done scooping, you're gonna be adding in the salt and lime juice. You can add lime or lemon. I personally like the lime better because I just think it tastes better with the avocado, just like personal preference. You can add whatever you want. And for salt, you don't want it to be too salty because your chickpeas are going to be pretty heavily seasoned. So I just add like about, for a whole avocado, I'd probably do like almost half a teaspoon. It's all to personal preference again, so yeah. I'm using Himalayan salt just because that's what we have, and it's just like easier. And then I'm going to be adding the lime. Also for the lime, personal preference, I like a lot of lime. So for a whole avocado, I'd probably use like almost half a lime. But that's because I really like lime. So if you don't like it as much, you don't want it to be as acidic, definitely add less. Just taste it as you make it. And then once you're done adding the salt and lime juice, you're just going to mash up the avocado. And you can make it however mashed you want. Some people like it really mashed up, like it's like a paste. And other people like for there to be like little chunks because they don't want like a porridge, I guess. I do it in between. I like for there to be a little texture but still like creamy enough where it's not like you get a chunk of avocado. And once you're done with that, you can cover it up with plastic or just put a plate on top and set it aside, or it's better to put it in your refrigerator. And then I'm getting onto the chickpeas so we can start learning about why we're going to be adding ginger and turmeric and why they are very, very good for you and how you can put it in other dishes in your daily routine. Now I'm going to be preparing the chickpeas. Usually I do this on the stove. I'll just put the pot on top, put in the chickpeas that are rinsed without the liquid that comes in the can. You can cook your own chickpeas and then use those, but I just buy the canned ones because they're easier. And then I just added in usually about, I used a whole can of chickpeas, which is about 21 grams of protein, which is really good because within the whole meal you'll get around like 32, including the bread, because my bread has a lot of different like herbs, sprouted grains that add lots of protein. So yeah, so I just added about like a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil, and then I added in half a teaspoon to like a fourth of a teaspoon of minced garlic. And then I'm going to be adding in the spices. So I added already about like 3 dashes of cayenne pepper. I really like spice, that's why I add a lot. Like I'll probably add more later, but this is like how much I would regularly add for like a normal person that like likes mild hotness. And then I added about 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, and I'm gonna be adding paprika. I'm probably gonna add 1/4 teaspoon as well because I really like the like red color that it gives and I like the flavor. Then I'm gonna be adding the turmeric. This is basically gonna turn all your chickpeas bright yellow. Make sure not to get it on your hands because it'll dye your hands for like a while and it'll turn your nails all like yellow, just kind of gross, but tastes really good. So I use probably about a teaspoon. I use a lot, and a lot comes out of here, which is scary. So yeah, I use about a teaspoon of that. And then for ginger, I use about half a teaspoon, 3/4 of a teaspoon, because I like ginger a lot. A lot of people don't like ginger as much as me because it is pretty like strong. So I wouldn't add too much. Probably half a teaspoon would be good. Also, when I'm cooking the chickpeas, I add in the salt then so that I can taste and check how salty I want it. I also, at the end, add in the lime juice. I add in probably like half a teaspoon of lime juice just to give it more of a zing and for the spices to pop. And right at the end, once you add the lime juice, and everything's kind of coming together and sizzling over the stove, and it comes into like a sauteed chickpea mixture. Then you're going to start mashing it so that about half the mixture is mashed. And then you're going to set it aside so that you can then toast up your bread so that you can start putting on the avocado mixture and then the chickpeas. And then we're going to be done. This is about how your chickpeas are going to look. It's not going to look that appetizing, but you want it to be like half mashed, half whole. Now we're going to plate up. So I just have a regular plate that will fit both your pieces of toast. Then grab your avocado mixture and divide it in half to then place on your toast. Spread it out. And then you're going to top it off with your chickpea mixture. Now you are all set. Now for the benefits. Turmeric and ginger both have around the same benefits, but some of the differences are that turmeric contains curcumin, and curcumin can help fight viruses. They can help fight herpes and the flu. So if you're coming down with something, you can have a little turmeric in your tea, which will help. It also works better if you eat it with some black pepper. I didn't include it with this recipe, but it's really easy to just add some in with the other spices. But the similarities are that turmeric and ginger both fight inflammation, and they keep your blood sugar levels steady, which prevents and treats type 2 diabetes and can lessen your chances of catching diabetes or developing diabetes. And the curcumin helps ease PMS symptoms like cramps. And the last thing that they both share is that they can ease joint pain and stiffness and inflammation, obviously. And then for ginger, ginger contains gingerols, which is a oral, it helps your oral bacteria because it breaks it down, so you won't get different diseases in your mouth. And it also helps calm nausea and queasiness, which is why you might have had ginger ale when you're sick. And it helps with your cholesterol. It lowers your LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol. It also contains bioactive molecules that help slow down certain cancers. And lastly, it is loaded with antioxidants, which prevent stress and damage to your DNA. So now that you guys know all the benefits and what you can get out of turmeric and ginger, you can find a way to add it to all different things you're eating.